Good morning, everyone. Glad to see you here. It's a lovely Wednesday morning, and I hope someone will join us. I know lots of people wanted to watch this live later. This is something I really recommend you to watch because I love stories. I personally love stories. I watch a lot of them. I publish a lot of them on Instagram, and I think stories is such a cozy, beautiful corner of Instagram that everyone should participate in because they're so unique and so different from anything else on Instagram because they disappear in 24 hours. So even if you change your mind, even if you're not quite satisfied with your content, it will all disappear in 24 hours. There is no stress, and at the same time, it's so real. It's real life. It's happening right here. People are publishing what's going on in their lives, what they're thinking about right now. It's not some curated, beautiful content that was scheduled weeks ahead or days ahead. It is here and now. So I think being on stories, publishing your own stories, watching someone else's stories is really pretty much how you make online friendships. You get to know people you follow better, and people who follow you get to know you better. But if you're not seeing a high engagement on your stories, if you don't have, if only a fraction of your followers are watching your stories, it might feel discouraging. Why am I even wasting my time on that if no one is interested in my stories? So today I'm going to share a few tips on how to increase the views on your stories. I personally divide them into two parts. My tips, some of them are a really quick fix if you need a few more views here and now. If you are about to share some important information, or you have just shared something and you see that it's not really getting traction and you want more people to see it, you can do a few quick things that will help improve the visibility of your stories here and now. But it won't have any long-term effect. You will have to do the same thing again and again for your stories whenever you need it. It's not something you have to do every day, of course. And also there are some long-term solutions. If you want more views on your stories in general, you can do those things and just pretty much teach people to watch your stories regularly. To make it easier to understand the whole lot of information I'm going to give you today, I'm going to start with the first type of little tricks, something that will help you increase your stories views here and now. Again, it's not a long-term effect. You do that once, you get more views on your stories, more people see them, but it won't affect the next stories. But for example, if you are about to share important information, you have a new product coming out, there is a discount you have planned in advance, anything really important news you need to share on stories, and you want to make sure that as many people as possible will see this update. My favorite my favorite trick that I personally use all the time is let all your previous stories expire first. So if you need to share an important piece of information, make sure there are no stories from yesterday on your stories remaining. If there was 0 stories from you in a while, even 1 minute, what you need is 0 stories from you. Then you share your important news, your important story, and it will get more views. I don't know why, but it works. Sort of algorithm rewards you for coming back, something like that, I think, but it works every single time. I have noticed that when I let my stories expire and I have 0 stories, the first story I will publish will get more views than on average my stories do get. And a lot of people say that this thing works. I didn't invent it. I collected it from somewhere, tried it, and it does work. So this is what I suggest doing in the first place. If you have something important to share, make sure you let your story expire first, and then you share it. And then, as you know, your content stays on your stories for 24 hours. So if you shared something important, a discount or a new product, in those 24 hours, I recommend you update your stories every now and then, because with every new story you post, you will get a few more views on your first more important one. So keep sharing. You don't have to share a lot. Maybe share 2 or 3 more times, but make sure that you don't just post and ghost for 24 hours. You posted your important information, post a few more stories this day. And especially, it's especially important. Again, I don't know why it works, but it does work. It's especially important to share in the last hour of the 24 hours given to your first story. So if you share a new story in the last hour of your first story, so 23 hours after your first story, you will see that the first story gets more views. So this is a really cool trick to increase the views on your first story a little bit. Also, you know those stickers that they have added quite recently, they are called Add Yours. So someone starts a sticker, for example, share a photo of your cat, or share your profile if you're under 1K followers and we will follow each other. It can be anything. Share your favorite destination in Europe. So those stickers, people can start them themselves, and you can share this, what they requested in the sticker, you can share it to your stories as well. So if you have to rapidly increase the number of your stories today in the next 24 hours, find a couple of those stickers. Maybe your friends have shared some, or just browse through popular Instagram accounts, find those stickers and add yours. Add something to your story through this sticker. The thing is, everyone who shared something with this sticker, their names will appear in the list of everyone who shared this sticker. So your name will appear there as well, and everyone who shared something that the sticker requested, they will see your name there. So those stories always get more views. And obviously, if you shared something cool, or if your cat is really adorable, or your destination is really popular, whatever the request was, people will go and watch your other stories just because they're curious. So you will bring new people to your stories. So those are the 3 quick fix tips, as I call them, that will help you to get more views here and now. And again, it's not a long-term solution. It's only if you need to rapidly boost your stories views right now. But it does work. Those tools are really powerful, and I really recommend using them. They are really easy. But it's also important to have this audience who will be watching your stories all the time, because, as I said, stories is where you make friends. If people watch your stories, it means that they are interested in what you're doing, because when they followed you and you just appear on their feed, they basically don't have a choice. You will appear on their feed anyway, whether they're interested in what you're sharing or not. But stories, people choose to watch them, because the thing is, those circle stories at the top of your screen that you see with stories, they don't appear there randomly. The first people you see there, they are always the people whose stories you watch the most often, whom you interact the most often with. So this is what you want, and you normally see your circle and then 4 others. So you want to be one of those 4 people who follow you. And in order to get there, you need to make sure that they watch your stories all the time. And to do that, you have to teach people to go to your stories and to be active there. So there are a few long-term ways to do that, and basically it all comes to being interesting on stories. So people who just repost, for example, what they posted on feed and don't do anything else on stories, they are not interesting. So why would people watch their stories? There's really no reason. They are not getting anything additional from watching your stories. So first of all, if you want more people to watch your stories, make sure you share something unique there all the time, something additional to your feed. Maybe if you have a business account, make your stories more personal about your life, whatever you're really ready to share with your clients. Or you can share something extra to what you share on the main feed. And it will be amazing if you also mention that on your main feed. For example, you give 3 tips in your today's post on your feed, and you say, I'll share 5 more tips on my stories. Go and watch my stories. So people will read this post you're reaching a lot of people with your posts, but you might be not reaching that many people with your stories, but they will read it and they will go and watch your stories because they want more tips from you, right? And if you do that several times, people will start seeing your stories as the very first circles on their stories feeds, and they will start watching your stories more and more. So make sure your audience who sees your feed updates also knows that there is something worth watching on stories. So tell them in your feed, hey, I'm gonna share something else on stories, go and check it out. Another great way is to often use engaging stickers on your stories. It is, by the way, also a quick fix, but it's also a long-term fix. There are lots of engaging stickers because Instagram algorithm loves when people engage with your content. But what we do with stories is we normally passively watch them. We just swipe, swipe, swipe. And if there is a story that creates engagement, people are commenting on it, people liking it, people doing something with this story, obviously Instagram algorithm will show this particular story to more people. So what I suggest doing is, as often as possible, use stickers. They can be as simple as a yes or no question, or this sticker where you can drag an emoji and show on scale where you are on scale. Some simple questions, or you might ask people to ask you questions, for example. Anything at all. The easier the action is, the more people will participate in it, and as a result, the more people will see this story. So it also works really well if your first story of the day, for example, you let all your stories expire, and the next story you publish, it should have some sticker in it. Something that people can easily interact with on the same screen, so they don't have to go to direct messages to message you or anything. Maybe you can just ask them, like this story if you agree, for example, and they just tap like, and that's all they need to do. But algorithm will see that the engagement with the story is happening, so people find the story interesting, they are reacting to it, so it should probably show it to more people. So make sure you use stickers either in the first story of your day, or if you post a lot of stories every now and then, just to not overwhelm people. It's good to do some polls, for example. Do you prefer this or that product, this or that color for my cover? Some easy polls that don't really make people think too much, that they can quickly click on and then swipe further, but the engagement will be there, and this is what you want, the engagement. Another thing with the algorithm, there are lots of technical little things that can help you boost the views of your stories. And just like the engagement with the stickers, another thing is, if you're talking on your stories, for example, make sure you do have auto captions. It's the same thing that is available on Reels. You just talk and then you click on auto captions, or click before, and Instagram automatically adds text what you're talking about. The thing with the algorithm is it supports talking videos with auto captions, because a lot of people watch stories or reels muted. So if you talk there and you have auto captions, it will be shown to more people because it's user friendly. You have thought of those who watch it muted, or maybe people with the hearing loss, and the algorithm will show your user-friendly story to more people. So if you're talking, make sure you always use auto captions. And another thing that I really suggest doing on stories is, don't only share your own content. Share content from other people, maybe other experts in your niche, or maybe just someone who creates beautiful, inspiring content. It doesn't have to really be in your niche. Stories will disappear in 24 hours. They're super forgiving. You're free to do whatever you want there. This is why I love this corner of Instagram, and this is why a lot of people love stories. There are a lot of people who just come to Instagram to just watch stories. They don't even go anywhere else. They don't need reels, they don't need feed, all your efforts, they don't care about it. They just come to watch stories, because the stories is something like the social media back in the years where we were all real and authentic. So make sure you share someone else's content on stories as well, for example. an expert in your niche, or just beautiful content from a friend you liked, or maybe a beautiful video of a location you visited a few years ago and really missed. It doesn't have to be connected with your business or with the topic of your account in any way. Anything. People are interested in a lot of things. If you found a cool reel with the easy lunch recipe, share it as well. Just entertain people on stories. You know, they have to be always surprised and always interested in what else do you have to share there. And make sure whenever you share someone else's content that you also tag them, because if you tag people, if you tag the creator of this content, they will see that you have shared their story. They will come and watch the story, giving you one extra watch, and they will probably repost it to their own story as a gratitude. So their followers will see that you have posted something from them. They will be curious, who are you? They have never heard of you before. So they will go and check out your account and check out your stories as well. And this is the thing. Don't just share content from other people, but also always repost everything where you've been tagged. If people tag you on stories, repost it. If people tag you in feed, share this post to your stories. Wherever you have been tagged, always share it to stories, because people will learn that you always share this content, so they will start tagging you more often, giving you free visibility without you even doing anything. They will be grateful, and they will be coming to your stories to see whom else have you shared today? Who is this interesting person or brand I might not be following yet, but I know that I trust the stories of this person, so I can check it out and see whom else they've been sharing recently. So this is basically the basic rule of interaction really on social media. Share each other, find new friends, and this will gradually and naturally lead to the increased views on your stories. And also, speaking of that, obviously, if you start sharing content, not only your own content, but also content from other people, you will have more stories during the day. You will post more often. So I suggest sharing at consistent intervals. Not that you have to come on stories every 2 hours and post. No one asks you of that. But if you know that I usually check Instagram 3 times per day, in the morning, during lunchtime, and after dinner, for example, make sure you post a story or two every time you go on Instagram. So, because again, going back to those circles people see at the top, the first circles are people whose stories they've been watching the most often. And also because we don't watch a story of just one person or just 4 people often. We watch stories of maybe 20, 30 people often. So among those people whom we've been watching the most often, those who have posted the most recently will appear the first on stories. And this is what you want. You want to appear the first, because people who come to watch stories, they will watch 5 people, they will watch 10 people, and then they will get bored and they will leave stories. So you want to be amongst those 5-10 people. So by posting several times per day, you're moving your circle closer to the front, because the most recent updates will appear earlier on stories. So make sure you are the one who people want to watch often, and then make sure you post several times per day to be the first one among those, to be the most recently posted one. And this will help you to get more views on your stories in the long term and naturally. And also, another interesting thing I have noticed that really helps is, and it seems the opposite of what you have to do, but it really does work. So Instagram has this close friends feature. You might have noticed that sometimes when you look at this stories feed at the top of your screen, some stories have a bright green circle around them. It looks different from the other circles. It attracts attention and you immediately click on that. This means that the person with this bright green circle shared stories not to all their followers. Not everyone can see them, but just someone they have added to their close friends. You can create this like a group of your close friends, and when you post your story, Instagram asks whether you want to share it with everyone or just with your close friends. And if you share it with your close friends, the story will have a little green star at the top, and also it will have this attractive green circle, and only people who are your close friends will see this story. So logically, it means that not everyone will see it, so it means that less people will see the story. But on the other hand, your close friends can probably be your most active clients if you're a business owner, or people you interact with the most often on Instagram. Don't really add your real life close friends who don't hang out on Instagram there. Add people who engage with you, add people who comment on your posts, add them to your close friends group, and share a few stories with them. Every now and then, you don't have to do that often. Do that once a week or twice a week if you want to share something with them specifically. Maybe share an exclusive discount with them, or share something really maybe personal if you don't share a lot of your private life, but you really wanted to share this photo from your kid's birthday, for example. Share it with your close friends. First of all, they will notice this really attractive green circle, and they will be grateful that you consider them their close friends. So they will pay more attention to your content, so they will naturally watch more of your stories. So this close friends feature, it really it seems that it should decrease the number of your views, but it actually helps increase it. It helps to create this community, and this is what I always say. It's important that you have this community on Instagram, because you can share the most amazing content, the most beautiful and unique stories. But if you don't people who support you there, no one will watch it. You can do those little tips and tricks, but the real the most helpful thing is to have this community. So always start with engaging first. Go and watch other people's stories. And this is also a good tip, by the way. Whenever you watch stories, don't just passively watch them. Like the stories you watched. For example, if a person posted 20 stories, you don't have to like all the 20 of them, because it's just crazy. Like 4, the ones you really liked, maybe with an important update that is really important for them as well, or something beautiful that they shared. Like a few stories, but make sure that you like at least one story from every person you watch, and then participate in all the stickers that they have used, no matter if it's related to you or not. If they asked a question, if they asked you to drag the scale to show where you are on a scale, do that, because that makes you more visible on a list of people who watch the stories. So when this person goes and watches who reacted to their stickers or who liked their story, they will see your name again and again and again, and by that they will either become curious and go and watch what is it this person is doing on Instagram, what is this business sharing on Instagram, or they will be just coming to your account out of gratitude because you interacted with them. So they will go and interact with your stories and with your feed in return. So start from giving first, then you can react to other stories. Whatever opportunities you see to react on stories, any questions, any stickers, any polls, participate in them always to become more visible, and then share these people's updates to your stories to make them grateful, to show that you appreciate what they are doing, and to make your stories this space where people can come and quickly see updates from your industry. For example, on Bookstagram, where my account is a part of a Bookstagram, and I have some friends who share a lot of stories from all the different accounts, and I know that I can't possibly keep up with all the updates, but I know that I have those 3 or 4 friends who share a lot of stories daily. So if I have missed the entire day of Instagram, I just go directly to their stories. Even if I don't see them as the first circles, I know that, hey, this girl shares a lot of stories from all different accounts. So I type in her name directly and I watch her stories to make sure I haven't missed any important updates from 40 different accounts this day. So she is my go-to place where I can check out what was happening on Bookstagram today. So become this spot, this hotspot, hot location for people to check out what's going on in the industry every day, and this will increase the amount of views you are getting naturally. well, I think that was it. I hope this was helpful. If you have any questions, ask them in comments, ask them directly in our group. I'm always there to answer and happy to help. If you find me on Instagram, whether it's Focus Trap or online or as the Style Jungle, my personal account, you can always DM us, send me, and yeah, always happy to help, and good luck on Instagram. Can't wait to see your stories. Bye bye.